You ever notice how every time a new administration comes in talking about reform, it somehow ends with Black families losing support? Well, that's exactly what the National Black Child Development Institute warned about when they spoke up against Donald Trump's so called One Big Beautiful Bill. See, the NBCDI has been fighting for over 50 years to make sure that Black children get a fair start, from early education to healthcare. And they saw that bill for what it was: a rollback of decades of civil rights progress dressed up in patriotic packaging. They called it deeply regressive, and they were right, because cutting Medicaid and child care programs doesn't make America beautiful. It makes it harder for working class families, especially Black mothers, to survive. Now, what's powerful is that the NBCDI is not partisan. They do not do politics, they do protection. They stood up to Trump's deregulation plan that would have gutted public service standards and widened racial gaps in early childhood care. That's courage, and that's leadership rooted in love for our children, not loyalty to any party. So when we talk about defending democracy, we can't just think about elections and courts. We gotta think about the classrooms, the clinics, the daycare centers, the places where our babies learn whether America actually loves them back. Because the truth is this: any law that starves our children of opportunity is an act of violence. And any organization that fights back, like the NBCDI, deserves our full support. No kings, no tyrants, no excuses, just justice for our children.
I came across this video and black folks were saying reasons why they may not trust the white folks because it has become a reoccurring decimal. It happens every time. Every time it happens. Whereby a new administration comes and they'll say, we want to come up with a bill that's going to be these, at the long run, the constitution and the bill is going to be targeting the black people. Is a fact. And I have video I'm going to play for you guys to see. And that is why when you see that election is coming forth, you see that just like this one that everybody's experiencing right now, the black folks were saying they shouldn't vote for Republican because they said they knew quite all right what this guy's going to do, and it's not too. It doesn't take. It doesn't take much to know to be able to predict what he's going to do, and that's exactly what he's doing. And people are saying, does it take a rocket science to know that this guy is going to do what he's doing? That's why the black folks are so relaxed. It's just like it's not a time to fight. It's not a time. They said this is not their fight. That's the slogan they use. They said we're standing on business. They will come up with laws, big, beautiful bill. They just come with sort of stuff, and you will know that in the long run they are targeting a particular set of people. And such is the case of what is happening right now. And it looks as if it's affecting everybody, but the real intent is not far fetched. But the beautiful thing is that black folks are always very tough. No matter what you try to do, it can't get to them because we are built tough. We are built to surpass, and they suppress whatever pressure you're bringing. And that's what right now it looks like palm colored people are the ones crying because over the years they're the ones that are getting the benefits and all that. But in the long run, if you are very, very intelligent, you know that there's an agenda. Let me take you through some videos I've put together for you. Let's check it out. Please do me a favor by watching it till the end. Let's watch it together. And I'll be right back so that we can begin the conversation around what we've watched. Credit belongs to every creator of this video. I'll be right back on Google.
I don't think people realize how exhausting it is to be Black everywhere. Not just in America, not just in the South. I'm talking globally here. Because wherever we go, there's a version of the same fight that's just waiting for us. And it's one thing to feel like a second-class citizen in your own country, but it's another thing entirely to realize the whole world sees you that way too. You ever hear people say, just leave, America's the problem? As if racism is something that you can outrun. As if anti-Blackness is some sort of American export. So let me tell you something. In Brazil, which is the blackest country outside of Africa, police kill black people like it's sport. But it's not just the cops, it's the beauty industry that sells skin bleach. It's the store owners that follow you. It's the neighbors that flinch when your child walks by. In the UK, you can speak perfect Queen's English, but still be denied housing, passed over for jobs, and told to go back to Africa like your birth certificate doesn't say Birmingham. In France, they don't need to say black to criminalize you. They just hide it behind secularism. They ban your head wrap, regulate your natural hair, silence your protest chants, and when you speak up, they act like you're the problem. And the people? They'll clutch their bags, they'll ignore you in interviews, and whisper the N-word when they don't think that you understand French. In China, black students were kicked out of housing during COVID, just for being African. But long before that, there were restaurant bans, fake job ads saying no blacks, and videos mocking our features going viral with millions of likes. In India, you'll be fetishized on one corner and insulted on the next. And if you're African, they'll stare, laugh, and sometimes they'll spit on you. In Ukraine, when the war broke out, white refugees got seats, and black refugees got barricades. In Libya, we're still being sold in 2025. And nobody's storming embassies for that. Let that sit, because being black is not the issue. The world's relationship with blackness is. And here's what bothers me the most. They want our rhythm, but not our presence. Our slang, our dances, our music, our clothing. But not our humanity. They'll rock locks on a runway but call them ghetto at school. They'll say Wakanda forever and still scream monkey at the next black soccer player. They'll ask to touch your hair, or not even ask. They'll mock your nose, and then turn around and say that you're too sensitive. And don't even get me started on influencers. Black American culture gets ridiculed as loud or uneducated until someone else steals it for likes. We're told that we don't have culture by people that are dancing to our beats, speaking our slang, and wearing our clothes. We are everywhere, but still nowhere. Loved, but not protected. Seen, but never safe. So if you've been feeling it too, that quiet, aching exhaustion that comes from just trying to exist, you're not broken, you're not paranoid, you're black, in a world that's been trained to hate you. That hate lives in systems, but it also lives in people, in the stares, in the silence, in the smiles that tighten when you walk into the room. But here's what they can't erase. We are global, we are ancient, and we are surviving. From Accra to Atlanta, London to Kingston, we are still here. And the moment we stop letting borders divide us, that's the moment we become unstoppable.
You want to know what the real issue is? White Americans have such a deep problem with us. But it's not because we're loud or proud or free, but it's because our very existence ruins their favorite story. We ruin their fairy tale because in their story, they're the heroes, they are the saviors. America is the greatest country in the world, land of the free, home of the brave. They sold that story to the world for centuries. But then we come along and we say, no, America isn't that great. Not for us. We say, look at the blood, the stolen lives, the stolen land. And then suddenly, that perfect image that they've painted starts to crack. And they hate that because once the truth is out, once you expose the genocide, the slavery, the segregation, the systems built on our suffering, they can't play the hero anymore. They have to face the villain in the mirror, and they don't want that smoke. That's why they fight so hard to erase our history, to ban books, to censor curriculum, to pretend that racism is over. It's not about protecting kids, it's about protecting their image. Because if America ever told the truth about itself, then it would have to admit that its greatness was built on theft, terror, and oppression. So, no, they don't hate us because we lie. They hate us because we tell the truth. And that truth destroys the delusion they've been living in since 1776.
So when I said white people want a destiny swap with black people, what I meant was there is this constant desire to co-opt everything that black people have in an attempt to regain the culture that they gave up in order to assimilate to what it means to be white in America. So you see how a lot of white people, when they first came to America, they came from all different parts of Europe, whether that was Italy or Ireland or just Britain, and they all had their own distinct cultures. But the thing about it is, when you get to America and you're actively trying to create a racial hierarchy that says you are better than one group of people because of the color of your skin, the whole point of it was conformity, to dumb it down as simple as possible for everyone to get into the program of and everyone to get on board with. And that doesn't give room for diversity of cultures. So whether you were Irish or whether you were Czechoslovakian, whatever it was, that whiteness, the idea of whiteness, would not allow for that culture to grow and to breed. That is why things like respectability politics exist. It's just another tool of basically whiteness, in the sense that they've created in order to find a way to fashion against black people and people of color. In order for the concept of whiteness in America to exist and thrive, it has to constantly find a way to intentionally remain the antithesis of everything and anything that's considered black. That is why a lot of white culture is simply the complete opposite of blackness, out of like a way to distinguish themselves from being anything associated with people of color. So when black people have their own unique way of styling themselves, wearing their hair, talking, it's looked down on as a knee-jerk reaction. And yes, there's envy involved, but really it literally is their culture to identify with being the exact opposite of black people and their culture. So that's how they uphold their identity. That's all they know. That's literally their cultural collective identity. And so because they've been very insistent on holding on to that, they've allowed their own cultural distinctive practices to like die off. Their own, what would make them uniquely them, they've allowed that to die off in exchange to be like part of the, racial hierarchy system. So my thing is, when it comes to white people, now that black people are starting to not care about buying into respectability politics, buying into assimilating to whiteness and white culture, what will be the identity that white America, white culture in general, will cultivate on their own, outside of having to be the antithesis, the pure white to the evil dark of what it would be considered black? Like what is that identity going to look like when it's not this constant game of constantly being the opposite of black people out of spite and hatred?
Oh my. You know, it is well analyzed. Everyone that has spoken in this video know exactly what is going on. I mean, it doesn't take rocket science. It's not a big deal to know the antics, the gimmicks that they always put to use. Is not difficult. You know, they started by first removing DEI. They said, every job that must be taken knowing fully well that the person is well qualified, he has the skill, it's not going to be based on gender or race or ethnicity. Okay, now let me ask you a question. If you go to a place, maybe you have 10 people looking for the same job, they came for an interview, 10 of them, right? And you have 10 of them qualified, yeah. They have the qualification and all that. And you have probably three palm color person and the rest are black. Let me ask you guys, I'm asking you guys, whoever you are, from anywhere you are, please answer this question genuinely. You have three palm color persons and the rest are black, right? And they are unqualified. Who do you think the job will be given to? Knowing fully well that the palm color persons in that 10 are just three of them and the rest are black. Who do you think they will give the job to? Be sincere, answer me the question. Answer me, just see. I'm happy the black folks are very intelligent and smart. Everything that has been done right now is to achieve an agenda. And I'm happy that the black community are extremely smart. Some knew quite all right that everything that is happening is a trap. Imagine when Keck, Charlie Keck, yeah, that's it, that's the name. When he was on alive, imagine if it were to be a black boy that did that. Just think about it. Take some seconds to think about it. Imagine if it were to be a black person. See, guys, I know we know their gimmicks, we know, but after all is said and done, it is still them that is facing the biggest stress, biggest trouble. You need to see how white folks are complaining. You need to see how they are lamenting, they are regretting, they are breaking down, their days. They're like, how do I survive? I saw a 4 years old, 21 years old with four kids. Is doing three jobs. And I genuinely I pity for the guy. I'm like the America is not even aware of what is coming upon them next. They are not aware. They are not prepared for it. And that's the truth. A lot of white folks are complaining bitterly right now, or just to get some set of people, or just to get at the black community. That is why all of these things are happening. But guess what? Black triumph, black overcomes, irrespective of whatever they are planning. Because black folks are smart, they always go ahead. Everything that is happening has been seen. And that is why the black folks in America are not too surprised. They found a way of escape already before it happens. But it's about trust issue. And I'm very sure from all the laws, from all the narratives, for the black people to trust palm colored people. Uh, I'm not sure if it's going to happen now. Maybe later it can happen, but right now, it may not happen again. It may not happen now. Guys, let me know what your views are, your comments, your perception at the comment section. Let the conversation begin. And of course, if today's your first time of coming across my channel, please do it to subscribe to my channel. If you love this great content, subscribe, like, and share. Thank you guys. Until I come your way again. Bye bye.